Hey guys, Miss Warren here, and I wanted to go over how I would like this painted in. So the very first thing that I would normally do is kind of start with my lightest color. I got some yellow acrylic paint here. Be careful because this doesn't wash out of clothes very easily. I'm going to put a little bit on my mixing palette here with a popsicle stick. So I'm going to start with a stiffer brush that's good for acrylic. I'm going to get it a little bit wet. So first thing I'm going to do is start with my lightest color, which is yellow. Now I'm going to look at all the places that I need to paint yellow in. I'm going to paint yellow in with that. So the first place I see that's clearly labeled for me already is on the color wheel. Now when I paint in an area, I'm going to put it on and then I'm going to slowly pull it all the same direction. Filling the area. Do you notice that I just put paint on the tip of the brush? I don't have it all the way up here on the handle or the ferrule. If there's globs of paint, I'm going to pick that up with the tip of my brush and I'm going to smooth it out and fill the whole area in. Make sure to kind of go around the edges. And then pull the same direction so it's nice and smooth. So I've painted that area in yellow. I also need to put yellow up here because yellow is one of the primary colors. Try to stay inside the lines as best you can. I normally like to go around the edges first, so I can go a little more carefully. And then I like to fill in the middle, all painting the same direction. Do you see how I kind of like start at the top and I pull towards myself? This is the way to make it the neatest and the cleanest. Okay, let's see where else we need some yellows. So yellow is a warm color as well. I'll put some yellow here. Go around the edges yet again. And then pull all the same direction. This way, this time I'm going to pull to the side, making sure that it's nice and smooth and that I've filled that area in. Okay. Now over here, I know that yellow goes into two of my secondary colors. So yellow is one ingredient in green. So I'm going to put yellow here. Kind of go around the edges yet again and then pull in the same direction. Kind of smooth that out. And yellow is one of my ingredients in orange. I'm going to put it over on this side just for a little more balance. Around the edges, and then pull all the same direction, making sure it's nice and smooth. Okay, so there I have all the areas that I need just pure yellow in. Now I can start with a secondary color, or I can move on to the next darkest color. I think I'm going to start with a secondary color. I'm going to get a little bit of red on my plate. Since I already have some yellow in my brush, I get two little piles of red. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that red, a little bit of this yellow, and I think I'm gonna try and make an orange here. So once I get a nice even orange mixed up, I'm gonna put it in all the places that I need orange. Going around the edges kind of first. I need a little more yellow in this orange. That looks a little red orange. There we go. Then on the last pass, I'm going to kind of pull all the same directions so it looks nice and smooth. Let's see, where else do I need orange? So I need orange over here in my warm colors because orange is a warm color. Make a little bit more orange. There we go. I'm going to put it over here in my warm colors. Going around the edges first. And I'm going to pull all the same direction. Smoothing that out. Getting as few streaks as possible, filling up the square, making that nice and smooth. Okay, so there I have my oranges. Now, I think I'm going to go for a yellow orange right there. So I'm going to grab some yellow. I'm going to take just what's left on my brush, and I'm going to mix it into that yellow because I just want a little bit of orange in that yellow. You need a lot of yellow for yellow orange because yellow is so light. There we go. So the important thing about our tertiary colors here is we want them clearly more yellow than the orange, but clearly more orange than the yellow. We want a clear difference between the two colors it's sandwiched in between. Okay, so now I'm going to make a red orange, which should be a little bit easier. I'm going to grab some red and I'm going to mix it in with the orange that I already have. This red is pretty dark, so it gets taken over, it takes over the orange pretty quick. So it looks like a nice, vibrant red. A little more yellow in there. Okay. Now, yet again, we want this one to be more red than the orange, but more orange than the red we're going to put down. We want it clearly more red than the orange that we just put down. Smooth that out. Okay. Now, I think it's time to switch over to red. I'm going to wash out my brush really well before I switch to pure red. I'm going to look for all the places that call for pure red. So it's on the color wheel already labeled for sure. See, this red is much cooler than that red orange. Almost has like a berry tone to it. Just pull one more time over the top, make sure that's nice and smooth and clean. Here's my red. Now I know that red goes into violet, so I'm going to put some red down here. Painting around the edges. Making sure it's nice and smooth. And I know that red goes into orange, so I'm going to put some red here. Pull all the same direction so it's nice and smooth. Okay. Know that red is also one of my warm colors, so I'm going to put it here.
Mativa Alacoa, report to the front office, your ride is waiting on you. Mativa Alacoa, please report to the front office, your ride is waiting for you.
Okay, and then I know that red is also a primary color, so I need to put some red over with my primary colors. Pull all the same direction so it's nice and smooth. A little more paint in there. Okay. So there I have some primary and secondary colors. I'm going to do just a little bit of mixing. Let me wash out my brush really, really well. I'm going to add mix a red violet. I'm going to make sure my brush is super clean when I dip it into my pile of the original color. I'm going to put a little bit of blue off to the side here. And I don't want any yellow in that at all, because if I get yellow in it, because yellow is a complement of violet, it will gray out the purple. So I don't want any yellow or orange in that. So I'm going to mix this till I get a nice red violet. That kind of looks like a medium purple. Add a little bit of red to it. I want it to look like a raspberry. So I'm going to start another pile down here. That looks like a good red violet. There we go. The purple is really dark, so you kind of have to spread it thin to see the color. So let me get that red violet in this area. I want it to be clearly more purple than the red, but clearly more red than the purple. Smooth it out by pulling all the same direction. Now for my violet, I'm going to grab this color here. I think I need just a touch more blue. Get a nice, even, bright purple. I think I need just a touch more blue in that because it's looking an awful lot like the red violet. There we go. It's pretty dark. Get a little water in there so it's not so dark. You can see a little bit of the white of the paper through there. Now the other place for the violet would be in the cool colors. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that in. Smooth out by pulling all the same direction at the end. Let me smooth out some of the lumps on this too. Now that it's starting to dry a little bit, I see where the paint is much thicker in some areas than others. Okay, so that's how I want y'all to paint this in. I've got about half of the color wheel done and half of the colors on here. Y'all should be able to figure the rest out. I will make an additional video with the monochromatic gradient here.